Hey everybody, Vickie here, the words lady, and today we are going to be talking about two of the most common things that people ask me about. How to pick your killer topic for your book, and then also how to structure it. So as you're hopping on, make sure to let me know you're here, say hello. If you are watching the replay later, just hashtag me replay so that I know that you saw this. I know some people said that they weren't able to hop on and they were going to watch later. Make sure if you have any questions as well, you can go ahead and just post them in the comments. Hey, Rachel, good to see you. I know there are some new people who joined the group specifically because they saw something that I posted about this little training that I'm going to do. So I wanted to just, say hello to you if you are new here, and also to give you a little bit of background on myself. Like I said, people know me as the words lady because I'm all about words in every way, copywriting, books, law of attraction, and all those fun things. And, some people may know me as the business that's helped 93 best-selling authors become best-selling authors, or maybe they know me because of my 10 best-selling books. But the thing that I want you guys to know is it wasn't always that way for me. I struggled with my books too. I spent decades trying to figure out what I was going to write, when I was going to write it, why I was going to write it, and all those fun things before I actually wrote that very first book. In fact, a friend of mine reminded me that even though I consider what's been published as my first book, I actually had a book prior to that, prior to Amazon Kindle, prior to all that stuff, because gosh, that was like early 1990s that I put this little thing together for, and I'll tell you what it was about. It was right after I got married, and I wrote a little book about how to get married on a budget. And it never went anywhere. It sat on my computer and now it is lost. So today, like I said, we are going to be talking about how to pick that topic for your book and then how to structure it. So let's jump into that right away. Your book topic, one of those things that, like I said, people ask about all the time. We are multi-passionate people. We are multi-passionate entrepreneurs, and there are a lot of things just jumbled around there, right, that we could potentially talk about. So raise your hand, put it in the comments. Let me know if that is you, that you have a lot of different ideas and you're not really sure which one is going to be the best one. So here's the thing that you need to figure out first. You need to decide if you are an author or if you're an author entrepreneur. And the thing about it is, I'm going to assume that all of you who are here in my group are entrepreneurs. So you are author entrepreneurs. This means that you have more than the book that you are promoting. You might have coaching packages or products or courses or, events or things like that aside from your book. Like your book is not just the thing that you do. And with that said, when you're picking a topic, the perfect killer topic for your book is one that's going to align with your business. What exactly does that mean? That means that it potentially or has the ability to lead your reader into this signature core product, package, whatever service that you have, right? So some of you may be a little bit newer to business and maybe don't have that core product. So my core product right now is Easy Writer, and that is the guaranteed Amazon bestseller program. And so when people read my Easy Writer book, they are led into the Easy Writer course. Now, you don't have to name your book and your program the same. It has pros and cons. Like it leads into the other one, but then I always have to specify this is about the book and this is about the program. So like I said, pros and cons. But the point is it needs to align with your business and what you want to be selling, because the upsell to this product is way, way, way better than royalties. And this is how you make money writing a book. All right. So think about, what do you want to be known for? What is that product that you would like to sell consistently over and over and over and over again? And if you are new and you don't have those, it's okay. You probably can throw together a 90-minute intensive, a half-day intensive, a 12 like session, 3-month coaching package, something like that would work perfectly as well until you have something different later. And here's the thing, if you change something later, don't feel like, oh my gosh, now this isn't going to work. You can upload a new copy so long as it's not more than 10% changed of your book to Amazon. So don't worry. Sometimes people think that when they upload a book that it's like set in stone, you can't do anything ever again, and that's just the way it is, and it's not. You can actually go back and change things, update things, fix problems, typos, grammar, anything like that. All of that can be fixed. Nothing is forever, okay? So let me know what you think about the killer topic, about how that is figured out, and like what your thoughts are. What would you like to be known for? What is the product or service that you have that you would love to be selling on a consistent basis? This is another thing too, where I hope you're getting a shift in the mindset. Hey, Brenda Liz. I hope you're getting a shift in the mindset, in the thinking that, oh my gosh, you know what? It's not just a book. The book is not the product. The book is part of the journey that your prospect is going to have with you. When they find you, when they get to know you and all that stuff, this is just a piece of them getting to know you. It's not the thing that you're selling them, if you catch my drift, right? So let me know if that makes sense to you, and that you're understanding that, you know what? It's not just about, let me write this book and let me sell this book. It's about, let me write this book, let me use this book so that I can sell more of my products and services as an entrepreneur. Okay, so next, let's talk about how to structure your book. What are the main things that I tell my clients and I have in my Easy Writer program? So what I have them do is pick out quotes they love, because people love quotes. I'm sure you've seen books that have quotes at the beginning, quotes in the middle, whatever. Quotes are always good. So I always have them pick out some quotes that they can use. And it's also a little bit of like a supportive mechanism for what they're going to say, right? Number 2, stories, 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 stories. You need to put your stories in your book. So if you thought that because you're a business coach or you're in some technical field, that you're just going to brain dump a bunch of technical things into your book, I am going to tell you that will bore them to death, and they will never finish reading it. Unless it's required reading for, I don't know, their thesis or their college course or something like that. You want to make sure you have your stories and your teachings woven in together so that it all is enjoyable to read, right? So that first thing you need is your stories. The second thing is your teachings. And here's the thing, when you weave them together, the example that you create by having that teaching with the story helps people to solidify it and to actually like walk away and remember it, right? People remember stories. That is why there are so many parables, and that's why people use them to illustrate things, because stories are just how we communicate. Just think about when you went to lunch with your girlfriend last. You probably sat around talking about whatever was going on, your kids, your husband, your business, life, you know, your parents, whatever it was that you were talking about. It was all based about stories, even though the stories had a point. Right? So you want to weave your stories in with your teachings so that they make a point. That makes the book way more meaningful. And this is one of the fears that people say they have all the time. They're fearful that they're going to write a book that's not going to be meaningful, it's not going to have the impact that they want. This is how you do it. Your stories woven with your teachings. Rachel says, yes, your book is such a great intro to who you are and how you can help people. Exactly. All right. And then the third thing you want to put in your book is a summary, or maybe common questions, because each of your chapters, here's the thing, right? Let me back up a second. So we picked the topic. Right? Now you know the topic. That is what you're aiming for the reader to figure out, find out, learn about by the time they're done reading your book, right? The summary in each of the chapters is going to make sure that they're walking away with those things, those interim things that you want them to walk away with so that they can get to the purpose of the end of the book, what you're teaching there, the bigger thing, right? So there's like this bigger umbrella of what you want people to walk away with. And within that bigger umbrella, maybe you break it out into 10 chapters, into sub things that either maybe it's a 10-step process, maybe it's a 5-step process, maybe it's just like a bunch of different things they have to know to get from point A to point B, right? So does that make sense? And at each of those chapters, right, you're going to have a summary or maybe common questions or things like that. So you are making sure that they walk away with what you want them to walk away with that day, or that day. Walk away by the time they're done reading the book. It could be a day, right? So you also, within those things, so it's stories, teachings, and summary, right? Hey, Sonia, those are the 3 things you want to put in there. The other thing, hey, Michael, is you want to send them to other complementary items that you have with your book. Now, if you don't have these things, don't freak out. You don't have to go make a bunch of these or anything like that. But if you have them, it just helps people to see more of you, get to know more of you. And, you know, like everybody says these days, video, 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 right? Your book isn't a video. So you can send them to things that you have talked about on YouTube that helps with that chapter, that helps to support what it is you're trying to teach them, right? You can give them a workbook, right? You can send them to public Facebook videos if you don't have YouTube ones. And there are so many other things that could be complementary, blogs, things that you refer to, you know, stuff like that. So that is all of the things that you need to know to put inside your book, except there's one thing in a little bit that I'm going to talk about. Before I do that, though, that one thing within the structure of your book that you definitely need, aside from these 3, I want to talk a little bit first, before we get to that, about the purpose of the contents of your book. So here's the thing. There's the inside of the book and there's the outside of the book, and there's a purpose for both of them. The outside of your book is like the cover, the description, the pictures, the graphics, the color, the everything like that. Those are the items that are getting people to buy your book. They don't know anything really about the inside, maybe a little bit of a snippet, but they haven't read the inside, right? Remember, 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 remember this. 80% of books are sold on referral. 80%. That means that the inside of your book may not, you are not allowed to slop the inside of your book together. You're really not allowed to slop the outside of the book together either. But the purpose of the contents, all the stuff that you're putting in there, is to create connection and show your expertise. You create trust. You create a relationship. And when you do that on the inside of your book, your reader, who is actually what I call your ideal client reader, because your reader should be an ideal client, your reader is going to raise their hand and say, I need more help. I need a deeper understanding. I need personalized attention and accountability from you. Okay? That is the purpose of the inside of the book, right? Rachel says, the idea of having book bonus page readers can sign up for, get links to extra content related to your book is a great way to generate leads. Absolutely. And the money is in your list. Okay. So what is that 4th thing in structuring your book that you need that I just haven't mentioned yet? It is seeding. It's the marketing piece that's on the inside of the book that does all that stuff that I was talking about, for them to raise their hand and say, me, 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 I need your help, I need your help. And you have to be able to do this in a non-sleazy way, not in their face. You don't want a book where people are going to be like, oh, this is just a really long sales page, right? You don't want that. You want the inside of your book to have, like I said, the stories, the teaching, the summaries, and the seeding. but the seeding and the marketing part is kind of slick. Now, that's not to say that there aren't places or aren't instances that it is totally, totally okay to flat say, I have this program, and if you want more, go join it. You're just not going to say it throughout the whole entire book. All right, you get it? Because like even with anything you do on social media, there are some things that are more indirect when you're talking to people about your program, and then there are things that are absolutely direct. So for instance, joining this training with email, there, if you are on my email list, you'll see that the beginning of my email actually had a little bit of something, and then it said, hey, and join us for this. I could have also just sent out an email that said, I'm doing this training, it's at this time, go here, that's it. And that may have worked just as well or better or whatever. Like each one has its own place. You have to do them all. So within your book, you need to make sure that you have the seeding and the marketing in the right places in the right way so that it all flows and it's not weird and choppy and it doesn't seem strange and awkward, so that you can weave your stories, your teaching, your summary, and your seeding all together in a book that is meaningful. And here's the thing, some people will be like, you know what, this was all I needed, this is really great, thanks a lot for your help. There are going to be people who read your book and, you know, that's that. And the other parts about your program or whatever is just not applicable to them, and they just gloss over it and whatever. If they get offended, it's not your problem. Your job is to make the dignified offer and make it known that you can help them more. It is their job to decide and choose for themselves if that's what they need and want next. Okay? All right. So now you might be wondering, oh, Rachel said, seeding, brilliant advice. I'm glad you like that. So you might be wondering now, okay, you know your killer topic. You know what you have to put on the inside. What else do you need to know to make this book of yours totally kick butt, awesome, and good for your business? Hey, Sean. So the next things after you're done with your book, you're going to need to have a marketing plan to get it to bestseller, right? Maybe before that, you might be working on like some sort of timeline to complete it. So let's talk about that first. I think I said those in the wrong order. Let's talk about that timeline. The next thing you need is a timeline of when you're going to write, how you're going to write, how you write best. You need to figure out some of those things on your own. Like we do this in my Easy Writer program. We figure out that timeline. We reverse engineer it. We, do all that stuff. But here's the thing. If you're saying to yourself right now that I want to have a book, but I just don't have the time, I haven't been able to find the time, I don't know where I'm going to find the time, I am calling you out. I call BS. Because we make time for what is important in our lives. If your kid had a sliver of glass in their foot, but you were in the middle of something, or you had a lot to do in your day, you would still drop your stuff and figure out what your kid needed. Stitches, take them to the hospital or the doctor, get them stitched up, whatever, right? You wouldn't just let it go and go, you know what, I don't have time for that. And maybe that's a little bit of an extreme example, but here's the thing about time. We waste a lot of time. And I say we because me included, every day we waste time. And now I want to specify that I don't mean self-care. Like self-care is not a waste of time. I spend a lot of time doing self-care, and I do not at all think of that as wasting time. But throughout their day, there truly is time in our day that we waste. If you just gather up all that time in your week and the weekend or whatever, I bet you could have already written your book last year. Just saying, right? And I would have to say many people would admit that too. When I've talked to people on the phone, they're like, you're right. I really could have done it. I just didn't. It wasn't a priority. I was lost. I didn't know what to do, because we blame time for a lot of things. And it's usually code for, I don't know how, I'm scared. It's not a priority. I don't wanna. Maybe that's part of it, right? So give me a comment in the comment section about, if you want to call yourself out about your own time thing, right? So that's the thing. You need your timeline to figure out how you're going to write, when you're going to write, when it's going to be done, and all that stuff. Then during that timeline, as we do in Easy Writer, you want to create a marketing schedule for how you're getting this book known to the public. And here is amateur mistake number 1. I'm going to write my book first, and then I'm going to think about marketing. No, 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 no. You have to market your book while you're writing it. Star Wars markets the movie while they're making it, right? So you got to market it because you're kind of gathering, right, interest as you go, so that when you launch it that day, you already have followers and people who are interested in buying your book, and that will help you get to bestseller. Like every single one of my clients who has finished their book has gotten to bestseller in 24 hours. There might be exception to one in Canada where for some reason her number didn't show up until the next day, but whatever, 24 hours, right? The other thing, the last thing that you need to know about what else do you need after the killer topic and the structuring of your book is publishing. Right? Now people get all freaked out about publishing. How should I go? Do I go to independent publisher? I self-publish? Do I get a traditional publisher? La, 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 la. And if you know me at all, I talk about self-publishing. Why do I talk about self-publishing? Because mostly it's that people have misconceptions about what publishers are going to do for them. With self-publishing, you are in control of when you launch, what your cover is, what your interior is. You get all the royalties. You get to make changes whenever you want. You don't have to depend on somebody else to do something for you. Okay? Right? I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit of a control freak, but that's not the whole entire reason to self-publish. It is actually just super duper easy. So if you can attach a file to an email, a Word doc to an email, you can do this. You really can. So don't let the text scare you off, right? But here's the thing. If you are going to get somebody to do this for you, make sure they know what you're doing, right? Make sure that you get somebody who cares about uploading this for you. I had a video in here last week about an example that I saw where somebody who was a relationship and communications coach talk about limiting beliefs and marriage and all this stuff. Their independent publisher must have accidentally, I don't know, accidentally, on purpose, I have no clue, I'm making stuff up because I don't know the whole story, put them in the wills and estate planning category. You do not want such a huge mistake to happen with your book. And then you have to depend on them to go and fix it, change it, do something for you. I've had people who came to me after they've written, like they didn't know who I was. They had never heard of me before. They already had their book done. And they came to me and said, you know what, I can't even get my manuscript back. I can't even use my manuscript. I can't do anything with my book because as soon as I got with that publisher, now they own the rights to my book. Ah! One of my new friends said that she spent $35,000 and still has nothing to show for this book that she put together, and she doesn't even own her own words anymore. So do your due diligence. I'm not saying that they're all bad, but I hear the horror stories because people tell me about them because they say, I wish I would have known about you first, right? Get a publisher that cares. Better yet, self-publish. Join the Easy Writer program and self-publish. If you think that the publisher is going to do the tech for you and do all your marketing for you so you can just kick your feet up and do nothing, you are wrong. There is nothing in your business, if you want to work, if you want it to work, I mean, that you can just kick up your feet, hand off, and let somebody else do. As much as we can, delegate, there are certain things that we cannot do. I can't do a video. I'm sorry. I can't have somebody else do my videos. That's funny. I obviously can do my videos. I can't have somebody else do them. And who is going to be the best advocate for your book? You. Secondly, your readers. It's not your publisher on that list of your advocate for your book. They are just going to make sure it's available and make sure it's out there. And purely by your book existing on Amazon doesn't mean you're going to get sales. And that was a huge mistake that I made with my first book. I thought, Amazon's such a huge platform. If I just get my book out there and it's a great topic and something that people need, they're just going to automatically find it. I had no idea how far it was going to get buried in the sea of books there that nobody really found it. And Amazon wasn't going to promote something that they didn't think that people were interested in. And how do they know people are interested in it? Just like Facebook looks at algorithms and engagement and whatever. You put a post up there like, oh, people are interested in that. People are interested in you, in her, in that page, in that group, in that whatever. Same thing with Amazon. They're using algorithms to figure this out. And if nobody buys your book because nobody can find it, they're never going to think that your book is interesting to anybody. Just saying. Okay, Sonia says, do you have to have a title? It could change. Hey, Lori. So, a title, yeah, I'm not sure at what point you mean. I mean, by the time you're on Amazon uploading your book and giving it a title, yeah, you should have your title picked out and pretty much set in stone. If your question is, can you change your title later and change your cover? I wouldn't. Now, you probably can change some stuff on Amazon. I'm not sure that that's something that you want to change later on. I would make sure by the time you are ready to upload your book to Amazon that your title is definitely set, your subtitle is set, and that you know the topic of your book. You don't have to have a title when you start writing it. Like if that's what you're asking, like do you have to have the title before you figure out all the other things that you have to say? No, absolutely not. A lot of people actually start writing their book and then realize through writing their book that maybe there was something they said that they really liked, or maybe they shared with somebody and they're like, ooh, that's a really good title, and voila, there is your title. So obsessing about the title before you write is a waste of time. Just get writing because you know what you want to say, you know what the purpose is, you know what you're aiming for, so the title can come later. Okay? Sonia says, advertising your book while writing. Yes, you need to advertise your book while you write. It's definitely something that you want to do. You don't want to just go, boom, here, I'm done with my book, and people are like, wow, I didn't even know you were writing a book. That's a surprise. You need to like gather up the excitement and anticipation. It's kind of like when we were young, I'm going to say young, and we have a birthday party that's coming up, right? And maybe we send out the invitations a few weeks earlier, and we're like sitting in anticipation. Our friends are so excited because they're like geeked up about what we're going to do. We're going to go to the roller rink, or we're going bowling, or what, and people are excited, and you talk about it at school, and it's so cool because we are anticipating that date. And that's the kind of anticipation you want to gather up for your launch date. Okay? All right. So from here, if you guys are thinking, all right, I've got some of this together, I'm not really sure about how to seed the book properly, I don't want to sound like a sleazy salesman and, get people irritated with me, I don't know how to market it for the bestseller title, I need help with the timeline to complete, I need some hand holding on the tech for publishing, then I want to make sure that you guys realize and know that my Easy Writer program, this is my signature program. It's Easy Writer Guaranteed Amazon Bestseller Program, is on early bird special right now until the 24th, midnight, Thursday, the 24th Eastern Time. We're starting February 4th, where we are going to go through exactly these things. Your killer topic, how to structure, how to make sure your stories sound really good and engaging. And you might be surprised about some of the things that you need to include in your story, and how deep you need to get, and how vulnerable and how much in the muck you need to get, and how you do that while also inspiring people. you inspire through your struggles, but you have to do that in the right way because you don't want to leave them in the pit of despair. Okay, so we go through all of that. We create your book launch, and the launch to bestseller is guaranteed. You will be a Amazon bestselling author, guaranteed. You just need to stick to the plan, okay? Don't skip parts, stick to the plan. We'll create that timeline for you to write. We'll give you everything you need to know about publishing your ebook and your print book, and which one should come first and why, and all of that stuff, all the strategies that you need to know that like just aren't inherent. Like it's just not it. And here's the thing about it too. If you're thinking again about, you know, time is a problem, I don't know where I'm going to squeeze this in. If you feel like you're missing out on growing your following, getting more attention, having more credibility and expert status, if you want to have a bigger impact, if you want to create a legacy, if you want to create more meaning in your life and in your business, and if you know you're missing out on income and opportunities for income, like speaking events and book signings and being asked to be in telesummits and being asked to be featured in TV or on magazines and blogs and stuff like that, do me a huge favor and don't ask people who have failed in their book. Ask the people who have been successful. Okay, I hear so many people say that they know somebody, or somebody told them that they have a friend who, and that friend never learned how to leverage. They didn't learn to seed. They didn't learn to publish it properly. They didn't know how to market it. They weren't taught all these things, so the book flopped. On the flip side, if you talk to my past clients, these are the ones who are growing their following, getting more attention, credibility, expert status, having that confidence that they grew with their book be passed down to their kids. They're creating more impact and legacy, going around their state or doing international book signings, getting on stages and TEDx and speaking and getting paid. They're getting on TV, they're being featured in magazines, and they're adding almost 6 figures to their income in a couple of years by leveraging their book. Ask the people who have done it. Ask the people who have been successful what a book can do for you. Don't ask the people who have failed, because it's just like everything, 80-20 rule, right? Just think about it. Hey, mofo, I haven't seen you in a long time. So here's the thing. I'm not going to leave you hanging on Easy Writer with just the bestseller. I mean, like, that's the promise. You're going to get to bestseller, you write this book, publish it, and I'm going to give you everything you need for that. But the huge thing I want to tell you is you're getting another 7 months after that. It's craziness. So the first part is 12 modules, 3 months. The second part is a huge bonus that I added. It's over $6,000 of value to answer the question, now what? I have this book, now what? I want to create a course from the book. I want to pitch media now. I want to get a book funnel up and running so I can get clients on the auto, so I can have people inboxing me with messages, so I can, you know, wake up to cha-ching because somebody has bought my program. And then I'm going to have guest experts like speaking and TEDx and photo shoots and graphics and video and like all this kind of stuff for you in that following 7 months, because this was the thing that I found out, is that so many people end up with a book that they don't know what to do with. So I wanted to make sure that you ended up being able to answer the question, now what? I have this book, now what do I do with it? Oh, I know exactly what, so that I can monetize it, so that I can get my ROI, so that I can basically say that my book paid me to write it, because now I'm leveraging it for all these things. So if you want to get on that, early bird is ending January 24th. I'll drop the bit.ly into the comments here. So what I'm going to do, there's a Details of the program are at bit.ly/easywriter program. And then I am actually giving you an extra $500 off. So it's technically about $1,000 off the regular price. And then if you also want to pay in full, you'll get another, I think it's $393 off. Okay, so there are coupon codes. One is 500 off and the other one is bestseller. I'm going to stick the link in for the coupon code or discount code. I'm going to call it discount. Discount code is at bit.ly 500 off special. So make sure you use that code so that you'll end up getting in at just $565 for 6 months, or just one payment of $2,997. And here's the thing you need to know is the value of this program is over $16,000. I didn't even mention the other 3 bonuses. You get the story course bonus, you get, oh, I did mention story course bonus, you get the DIY press release, you get $500 off, and you get part 2. So those are 4 bonuses that you get. The Easy Writer program itself is at least $6,000. I've heard from other people saying that it's worth much, much, much more than that, because I just pack it with all the things that you need to have to be successful. So if you want some of those results like my past clients have had, this is the program that you need to join in on. We're starting February 4th, okay? So if you have any questions, go ahead and comment below. I'll make sure I answer them, and I hope you enjoyed this. I love, love, love getting on video, seeing you guys and bringing you content, and hope you have a good rest of the day, and I will see you later. Bye.